Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Stepping Up to the Plate. I'm your host, Michael Vega. So glad you could join us here for another scintillating half hour of sports talk. So much to get to with the Red Sox in the midst of a heater, having gone 15 in a row. Unprecedented. They lost in a split doubleheader before going out on the road to Oakland, where they won one and then lost one. Won one in a dramatic fashion. Ceddanne Rafaela with the grand slam in the first of his career. He thought he'd hit a pop fly out there in Oakland, but forgot that he was playing in a minor league ballpark, which is where let me back up. It's West Sacramento, which is where they're playing. But at any rate, getting ahead of myself here, and I want to make sure I introduce my main man, Al Prizzuti. Al, what's going on, my friend?
No, nothing. I stayed up and watched the game last night.
You did too?
You know, they came back. The kid pitched a good game.
Jake Bennett had a great game.
You know,
totally had a good game too.
They didn't hit it all at the start, and started to come back 7th, 8th, and 9th. So, you know, they should beat that team though. It's not that good of a team.
Well, the Sox in the first game of that series out there in West Sacramento against the A's, no longer Oakland. They're going to be soon to be the Las Vegas A's. Wound up getting no hit through 5 innings, Al. Unbelievable in that opener by Jack Perkins, and then Rafaela comes up. Well, they load the bases on the reliever, and then they wind up. He serves up the grand slam.
He's a great center fielder, though. The kid. I mean,
he made some diving catches. He made some great diving plays.
Sometimes I wonder whether he could get it anyways. It looks like he's diving. But
there was one play, I think, in the game last night where they lost 4-3, where he looked like he misplayed it a bit.
A little. Because
he ran towards the wall, and then all of a sudden it faded on him. And he kind of flailed at it a little bit. But, yeah, you can't discount his athleticism. But the shocker, Al, is after that win, after the win at home, they wind up going out to West Sacramento, and they trade Connolly early to the Nationals.
Yeah, that was a
for
good
Curtis
trade.
Mead.
That was a good trade.
Well, they needed a right-handed bat.
They needed an infielder that could play multiple positions. One, he can hit and hit for power. He got 17 home runs,
right.
And they give up where they have an abundance of pitches. They gave up a kid that will probably be a good pitcher, not a great pitcher, but a good pitcher.
I think he could have been. A back end starter on the rotation. You know,
he'd be a 3, 4, something like that. You know, but he's going to get a shot wherever he goes because he's got some ability, and you know. But I look at it this way: if you're going to give up a pitcher, it would have been either him or Bello. But lefties are a premium. A lot of teams like to have lefties.
Well, and then here's the thing, though. I mean, you got to go get more pitching still.
Yeah, well,
you got to get a guy, and they're talking about
Duran's going to go. I think. Everybody keeps talking about it.
Well, the other guy, I'm like, it seems like they're kind of done with is Marcelo Mayer.
Well, he's been injured. Well, you got Story, you got Mayer. What are they going to do with these guys? Well, you know when Crochet comes back. Roman Anthony is the biggest thing for me because he came up, he only played in X number of games, then he starts the season, he was hitting .229, 1 home run in 30 games. I mean, they had him in the Hall of Fame.
And it was a hand issue.
Yeah, it's the hand issue, but what I'm saying, he hasn't played since May.
Yeah.
Who knows if this kid is really as good as they said he was.
Well, I think he showed it in the World Baseball Classic. He showed flashes of it.
That's different than playing in the majors. Yeah. I think he's a ball player, and they need him. They need to have a kid like that because he's a left-handed hitter.
I'm more bullish on Roman Anthony than I am of Marcelo Mayer.
Mayer's got a better swing than Roman Anthony, but I don't think he makes as good contact as.
And then sometimes Anthony. he makes some. just incredible errors in the field too sometimes.
He's not a bad ball player, and again, he was playing in positions that he really wasn't supposed to play. And,
he played second. He played
second,
third.
short, third.
Well, short's his position, I think.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
But now you've got this kid who may be the shortstop of the future, Franklin Arias, who's coming up rapidly. Was promoted.
Got a hit yet.
He hit a home run, Al.
When, yesterday?
Yeah.
Well, finally.
Yeah.
He was, his first game, he went 0 for 4.
Yeah, but he got one, and it wouldn't take long for him to catch up.
We'll see.
But here's the thing, the cautionary tale. Christian Campbell is a cautionary tale for me because I don't want them to rush this kid and then to have him lose confidence and then have to go back to the minors where he's going to languish.
He never was that good anyway. Why they
Christian
signed him
Campbell?
for 5 years doesn't even make sense to me. No. I mean, Jesus, you don't know what the kid's going to do against the big leagues. So, I don't know. He's only hitting 230 or something down in the
minors.
The minors. So,
yeah, I was kind of appalled by his undisciplined approach at the plate, and they said, well, he's become more disciplined now, hitter, and I was like, wow, I didn't see that. I really didn't. But Al, what happens now is, with Meade coming aboard, and then Meade coming aboard created kind of a log jam, and they dealt with that by sending Chang down. Mm-hmm. And I thought that guy was a really good player, good hitter, good defensive player. And Sigler was a guy that may have been on the way down, but Chad Tracy decided, no, this guy's too important, in our clubhouse, and you know what? He would have cemented a role if he had hit the home run there last night. But he gave it a good ride. And they came up short 4-3. And so they'll have a chance maybe to win another series.
Sox got a lot of guys that when they play, they don't look that bad, but over time, like Monasterio, the kid that he sent down, just the shortstop, Gonzalez. I mean, they got a lot of those guys. When they play, you go, gee, they're pretty good ball players. Right. They can hit, they do this. But if they play 130 games in a season, you start to get a sense of what they really are. And maybe one of those guys, Monasterio got some pop in his bat.
And in some cases, like a Crochet, a Narvaez, these guys really haven't been stretched like that before in their careers. And Crochet, remember, he was a reliever.
He was a reliever. Yeah.
And now there's talk that he may go back to being that in the bullpen, just to help shore it up when he comes back, because it's going to take too long to stretch him out.
Well, then what will happen is they'll end up with all of their starters become relievers.
Well, you know what? I think right now, who amongst the relief corps could maybe take a turn and eat up some innings for you? I think Whitlock could.
Well, Whitlock seems to be a pretty good 1, maybe 2 inning pitcher. I don't know about a 3 or 4 inning pitcher.
He's done it before, I think.
He has done it, but I mean, again, doing it often. When you see somebody like Aroldis Chapman, he wants to come in the 9th.
Yeah.
You throw him in the 8th and then bring him back out in the 9th, then you got some questions because you don't usually see that.
Yeah.
But interesting.
It's interesting, and the trade deadline is the 3rd, August 3rd, and so that'll be coming up next week. We'll see if there are any other moves to be made. But incredibly unlucky for Curtis Meade to wind up on the deal with a fractured left wrist, which he injured in his second at-bat of his Red Sox debut last Monday.
95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Man, that was you could hear that come off the bone. And what was perplexing was how they X-rayed it and said it was negative, and it was it was just a bruise.
Yeah.
But it was more than that, evidently the way
sometimes I think what happens is that the swelling, when they first do it,
masks the injury.
You don't see it, and then all of a sudden they ice it, and the swelling goes down, and they see a hairline fracture or whatever. But who knows?
Ladies and gentlemen, he isn't a what is the line? You only play a doctor. You're not a doctor in real life. You only play one on TV.
I've had it all, so mine's falling apart slowly but surely. But
he knows what he speaks of from experience. Yeah, but it's just incredibly unlucky, Al, for the Red Sox to have that happen to them after they dealt away early. You know.
Yeah.
And
I think the early thing, again, they look and see that they've had pitching all year. I mean, pitching has been the thing that's kept them there. And then all of a sudden the hitting started to come in. So when you get the pitching and the hitting, then they went on that 15-game winning streak. They've got the pitching, and early was kind of I don't want to say an expendable, but he was, because they're deep. And you know, I still think they think Bellows going to come back and be the 3 or 4. I don't know. But
well, could he be a guy like they're utilizing him now, you know, as an opener, and then a guy who comes in after the opener?
I wouldn't bring him in as an opener. He can't get out of the first inning.
I know.
But bring him in like, you know, if you have somebody come in and do 3 innings. Like the other night with the kid pitched 5 innings. The lefty. I can't
Morant?
think of it. No. The kid. The other night he pitched Tanner.
Tanner Houck.
No.
He's in witness protection. With Casas.
Anyways, you got a guy who comes off of a DL and goes 4 innings. Then you bring in
Greg Weissert.
Bellows. No. The lefty, Ranger
Suarez. Okay.
He only pitched 4 innings the other night because he just came off of DL.
Yes.
So then you say 4 innings. Now you need somebody to go 4 innings. 3 or 4 innings to get to
Bello did a great job. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an amazing to watch this team, because nobody watched them for a long time. Everybody went, this is really Worcester.
Well, when they were 14 and a half down, 15 down. Al, I mean, I think I'll admit it. We all wrote them off.
Oh, I mean, I didn't even watch as much as I love to watch the games. I mean, I watched them, but I wasn't interested like, you know how you get when the
Bruins are playing.
No, what I mean is that when a team's in there like last night, 1 hit, and they come back from a 3-0 deficit and win the game. This team has the capability now in your mind that they can do it.
Right.
3 months ago, you'd go
done.
1-0, you turned it off. And
yes.
Made a tuna fish sandwich, you know. But anyways.
I tell you though, it's an exciting time, Al, because it is the start of NFL camp, and the Patriots are back to work, and I think there's a lot of excitement in the air down in Foxborough, because Drake May looking pretty good. He's surrounded by a whole bunch of weapons in that receiving core, most notably A.J. Brown, who Al, I'm excited about that guy. I really am. This is the guy I think that they should have drafted when they went for N'Keal Harry, because N'Keal Harry fit the profile of A.J. Brown, but I don't understand how they made that call.
Well,
remember who was on the board at the time. I think I've said this to you before, but not only A.J. Brown, okay, when they drafted N'Keal Harry, you have D.K. Metcalf, Mecole Hardman, okay. You had, who's a kid, Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, Al. The wealth, and you know what? They could have drafted 2 guys out of that group, because they had the late first round and then they had an early second round. So that group was going to be available. They could have had 2 of them, 2 of those guys.
Well, I don't know. When I look at the Patriots now and what I see, first of all, I know I always sound like I'm a downer, but to pay this kid that kind of money, I think is for
Gonzalez.
I would not have given him that much.
That's the going rate.
I don't care what it was.
Did he accept it? I don't think he's accepted it.
He hasn't accepted it yet, but I mean, he's kind of an interesting kid because he says all the right things. He's there.
He's there.
He hasn't signed his contract, and he's there. So Anyways, I think this is going to be an interesting year because for a number of reasons. One, they got a tougher schedule.
They do.
Two, they start out against
they
the team
open up
that
against the
beat them.
champions.
Yeah. So, and if they get off to a bad start, a real bad start, let's say 2-4 or something like that, everybody's going to say, "Well, last year was a fluke."
Nah.
This is the way they do.
I'll tell you what, Al.
The press will do that.
I'll tell you what. They're going to be. Remember this now. They're going to be a full force for the start of that season.
Yeah, I think
barring any injuries during camp, they'll be a full force. You're going to have a healthy D line. You're going to have a healthy Barmore, a healthy Milt Williams.
They won't be better than they were last year,
I
though.
think defensively they may. You're going to have a healthier Robert Spillane.
Yeah.
That guy had trouble covering people because he was banged up, his ankle. All right? The guy who played out of his mind was the guy that you say doesn't deserve the money that they're offering him. I say lock that kid up. Lock him up, whatever it takes.
Not the highest ever given to a Patriot player. I mean, Robert Kraft.
It can't be that much.
They've never been that big. But anyways,
hey, who would have exceeded that?
I'll say that they'll be a 10-7 team.
No shame. I'd say I'll go 12 wins. I'll go 12 wins.
Well, you don't want to bet coffee because I've kind of.
I'll bet you a coffee. I'm gonna bet you. Double or nothing.
I'll take 10.
Double secret probation.
I'll take 10. You take 7.
12.
If 12. If it's 11,
it's a push.
We'll flip a coin.
We'll do that. All right. There it's memorialized on record. 10
and
12.
7.
10 and 7. Me, I'll take 12 and 5.
12 and 5.
12 and 5. Okay. So there it is, folks. We're putting in, and then the Super Bowl now. You think they'll be there?
No.
No.
I not at 10 and 7.
Well, they'll be a playoff team.
Yeah, but they're playing different teams. They're a little more vulnerable.
Will they win the division again?
Oh, the division got better. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, that's why I'm saying they start out playing the Super Bowl champs, so they have a reason to be ready.
Yeah.
Because they want to get some revenge on that.
All right. So let's look at the division. Did the Dolphins scare you?
Look I think football's always been funny. At the start of the season, the first game, anybody can win.
Yeah.
So if they're playing Seattle. So if they were playing Miami, in Miami, first game, they lose. It's almost like you don't even, why bother to go down there?
I know what you're saying, yeah.
So anyways, I think they'll be fine. And I think playing a competitive schedule all year will allow people to say this is
a good team.
The team.
Yes.
That not last year. Which
they'll validate them as a team, as
this
a contender.
Will be,
yeah.
and
that question hovered over them the entirety of the year because of who they played.
Of course it did. And then in the Super Bowl, they played poorly. That was the worst game that they played all year.
They were manhandled on that.
I think so.
Yeah, they were manhandled.
That was a team that everybody said was a better team, Seattle, and they proved it. And there was some. Don't forget, the kid's young. May's still young.
Yeah.
So, I go with the proven guy, and we'll see. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a good leader. He's definitely.
A.J. Brown loves him.
Psyched. I mean, I've never seen anybody as excited. Every time they talk to him, he sounds like he's a little kid. He sounds like a little kid.
Because he's got some weapons.
He does.
He knows it. Keyshawn Booty, Kyle Williams, those guys are speedsters.
He's got 7 receivers that.
Mac Hollins.
In good spots.
Big, rangy receiver. A.J. Brown, big, rangy receiver.
Yeah, plus they got the tight ends.
The tight ends. We haven't even begun talking about them. Mm-hmm. They got this kid who's a rookie out of Notre Dame, Eli Raridon, who looks pretty good.
I think they need to solidify their running game a little.
I think they do. I think they have.
Ramondre is one. And
the reason that kind of broke down at times was because the offensive line was breaking down.
Well, that's always the case.
And they shored that up, too.
That's always the case. When you look at the Green Bay Packers, had a great offensive line, and then everybody went, well, you had Taylor and Horning.
Yeah.
Well, you open the holes for guys like that.
They're gone, right?
They're going to look terrific.
Well, the same thing, like Travion Henderson. You give him a crack. Mm-hmm. You give him just a small sliver of daylight. That's the kind of guy that is a home run hitter. Then I haven't even begun to talk about Demario Douglas, a guy who could hit a home run too. Marcus Jones, a guy who can hit a home run on special teams.
Yeah.
You know, and then you've got Kyle Williams, a kid. Remember when they threw it on at Tampa Bay, that brilliant call, the wheel route, which is like my favorite play of all time, is a wheel route because you isolate a speedy receiver or running back up against a lumbering linebacker, right? And it's no contest once you get them in the open field. So it's been my experience that's usually
It's like playing touch football.
Yeah.
The guy's got the flag, and he's fast, and you're chasing him, and you're not fast. Touchdown.
I saw that this weekend. I was watching. You know, it's been all over ESPN. This new NFL-sponsored flag football.
I saw it.
As you well know, flag football is going to be an Olympic sport in 2028, which will be here before we know it. You know, and they were showing some of these girls' teams from all around the country, and I was super impressed with the team from Austin. They were pretty good. They were pretty, and they had a little girl like you're talking about. She was a center. She was the smallest player on their offense, but she was the most dangerous because she would leak out after hiking the ball. They'd throw it to her in the corner, and she'd take off, and they couldn't catch her. You know, and it was like you say, you know, you do the little shimmy and, you know.
Yeah, fast,
the
small.
Dead leg.
Is opposite of what
leg.
normally you would think of football, any football, it's going to be big. And anyways, a couple of things before we run out of time. One, LeBron going to the
unbelievable.
76ers. I heard.
What a shocker.
Well, I heard that, what's his name, Jaylen Brown, talked him into it. That was on the news this morning.
Well, of course he may have done that.
Well,
but, you know, but here's the thing, Al. I don't know if you realize that there had been some talk back when Jaylen Brown got snubbed for the Olympic team, that the guy behind that was LeBron, because LeBron heard that Jaylen Brown had kind of, you know, dismissed his son as a G League player during the summer league. You know, he'd shown up at the summer league after they won the championship. He was checking out the players. And he looked at somebody and said, "This is a G League player." You know, he's just like, and the way he said it with disdain, of course, LeBron took umbrage and then went to Grant Hill, who's the president of USA Basketball, and said, "That guy, no, we don't want him on the Olympic team." And so there's a little bit of, you know, stuff like that going on.
That's going to make Philadelphia. I mean, he's a great player, LeBron. Oh, you put him with Jaylen Brown and the center.
Wow, they're like the odds-on favorite now to win not just the East but the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, and now where in your mind, Al, where are the Celtics in the pecking order in the East right now?
Second, third. I mean, they're still.
Are they better than the Knicks right now?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you got the Knicks is going to. So they're going to be playing on emotion from being the champion. Although a lot of teams will be out to gun
get them. Yeah.
Right. So I would say they're second, third, the Celtics.
So what's going to be appointment viewing television for you? Will it be the Sixers and Knicks, or the Sixers and Miami? Remember, he was supposed to go down there too. Or the Sixers and the Celtics, because let me tell you, Jaylen Brown's going to hung half a hun on the Celtics when he comes here.
I think if I was going to watch a game, it depends on the timing, obviously, but the Celtics and the 76ers, I think it's the first game, if I'm not mistaken.
It usually is.
That would be something to see, because you'd want to see how Tatum responds, and you want to see how Jaylen Brown responds. You know what the Amtrak train's going to do.
Well,
LeBron.
You know, I'm wondering, will they have one of those tribute videos for him?
Yeah, probably.
You know, in that game,
probably.
They kind of soften him up a little bit.
I mean, they don't want. I mean, he's taking a lot.
Because he's going to come in ready to give them both horns.
Right. The front office is taking a lot of heat on doing this.
And rightfully so.
So I think what they're going to try to do is make it look like, you know, it was a great player.
Al, do you mean to tell me that the price for LeBron James was 2 years, $8 million, They couldn't have done that.
I don't think that would have helped them that much. I think
Oh.
I think the fact that they had to get rid of one of the two players. They had to. You can't have two players with that kind of supermax. So one of them was going to go. Jason Tatum is probably an easier guy to like than Jaylen Brown for a number of reasons. Right. But anyways, before we start, I have to bring this up for the old timers that are watching this.
Three Stooges?
No. Mickey Mantle. I never knew this. He slid into second base in '56.
Head first.
And Red Shandings fell on top of him and ruined his shoulder.
Oh.
Prior to that game, Mickey, who was a natural right-handed hitter, incidentally.
Oh. Wow.
And he was a switch hitter, obviously, the greatest switch hitter of all time. Hit less from the left side from that year forward to the end. His career, he ended up with a .330 lifetime batting average from the right side.
Wow.
.283 from the
left. Because of that injury? Wow.
This is amazing. The year he won the Triple Crown, '56.
Yeah.
He hit 50-something home runs. He bunted 10 times. And they asked him about it, and he said, you know what? I just want to win the game, so it didn't matter. In the World Series that year, he hit 18 home runs, which is still a record.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
He also bunted 8 times.
Wow. Wow. What's that tell you about that? What would this
kid have been had he not had the problem with his leg with DiMaggio and Shandings falling on his shoulder? You know what? The argument, I go through this all the time in my head, was Willie Mays the greatest ball player I ever saw? Yes, because he played a long time.
Yeah.
He was a great center fielder.
Yes.
He could run.
Yeah.
Mickey was, in my opinion, with no injuries and no booze, the best ball player I ever. He was a switch hitter. He could hit from right.
Better than the Babe?
Well, Babe couldn't switch hit. Babe couldn't go down the first base line that well. I don't think he ever stole the base. But anyways, it was just fascinating to see. That's what makes baseball, I think, one of the more interesting games is seeing ball players, and like Ted Williams was a .344 lifetime hitter.
Yeah.
For him to go 0 for 4 on a given day, you went, what the heck happened? He must be hurt.
Right.
You know, at the end of the year, though, when all the stats come in, the players are what they were. They were either a .300 hitter or a .280 hitter.
Yeah.
It seemed to always settle where they are. But anyways.
Well, I'll tell you, Al, what's exciting about the summertime now is not only that, you know, we're in the midst of the trading deadline, and you know, teams are trying to reconfigure them. Teams that are trying to make moves, you know, the Red Sox are in the midst of that. They're in the mix. So it's a lot to be excited about, and a lot to follow with the Sox. And
you only got 1 week.
Yeah, it's going to be unbelievable.
Trading deadline's next week.
Yeah. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for us, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time here on Stepping Up to the Plate. Take care, everybody.